You're listening to the Zetetic News Cast on the Zetetic News Network with your hosts, Dave, and Xavier Diamant. Proceed by inquiry.
Livecast, February 7th, 2020. We've got a special guest in the house, Jon The Morgile. Represent. We definitely appreciate the shout out yesterday and would love to just hop right into. I was particularly fascinated by the coronavirus thesis that you had. Coronavirus with Lyme, if I remember correctly. That's definitely clever.
Well,
I was wondering, have you seen the movie Contagion?
I don't know. Hey, baby, have we seen the movie Contagion? You have? Yeah, we have. Yep.
Yeah, someone with like Lawrence Fishburne and Matt Damon and Jude Law.
Larry Fishburne with Larry Fishburne and Matt Damon, Jude Law. I mean, it's not Jude Law, it's Jude Law.
Jude Law.
No, we haven't. No, we haven't seen Contagion. When did it come out?
It was 2011. It's like
2011? Probably, yeah. Yeah, we've seen it.
It's a classic predictive programming narrative around this whole coronavirus fear-mongering.
Let me get something on the record here, man.
Yeah.
Because there is so much disinformation and like unintentional disinformation going on about coronavirus. The first thing is this. Like, there's a lot of YouTubers that I used to respect, and now that I just unsubscribe to, because they're like going on YouTube and saying, "Oh, there's a patent for coronavirus." And see, this is from 8 years ago or whatever. But the thing is, dude, coronavirus is like a general name.
Right.
It's like a general name of viruses, right? And so there was a patent for a specific type of coronavirus years ago. And so, like, all these YouTubers, like these truthers, are jumping on this bandwagon to say, "See, there's a patent for coronavirus," as if it's like this one specific thing that's like killing Chinese people, right? No, what it is that coronavirus is basically the common cold, bro. No, there's a patent for a specific, like, genetic engineered, like, strand of coronavirus that was patented, but you can't say, "Oh, coronavirus is patented." That's like saying that, like, giraffes were patented. I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like, the whole thing is ridiculous. But there's truthers going online saying that coronavirus was genetically engineered, which is it's the most ridiculous fucking thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry, but and I literally have unsubscribed to 3 channels in the last week for doing exactly that. So,
well, we had the SARS scare out of China in 2003. That's a form of coronavirus.
Okay, so I did see some comments. So there's a couple of reasons why I'm not worried about coronavirus.
Right.
The first is that it's getting media attention. So let me say it in French. Coronavirus is getting media attention. Right? Maybe that was Italian. Okay, so that's a big red flag to just look the other direction. Just don't even give that any attention. Okay, so that's one thing. The second thing is, well, and we're not going to talk about it because this is going on YouTube, but you can cure any virus with a simple solution. Simple. But I will not even mention the abbreviation of it. Won't even say it because it's guaranteed to get your YouTube channel shut down.
Is there a way to do that? Or maybe there's a pig Latin version of it.
Maureen Foxside. Maureen Foxside. That rhymes with it.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah, Maureen Fox. We can talk about it off show, but no, look, dude,
Right.
this is the thing to where I'll give you the description. So a few years ago, not that long ago, the Red Cross was called into Uganda. And you can find this on YouTube. Was called into Uganda for a malaria outbreak of malaria. Well, there was a couple of people that knew about Maureen Foxtrot or whatever the fuck the euphemism is. And they used Maureen Foxtrot on these people in Uganda that had malaria. And guess what? They gave babies one drop, babies, with a 16-ounce glass of water. And they gave adults 2 drops with 2 16-ounce glasses of water. And within 24 to 48 hours in Uganda, malaria was cured malaria, which is, by the way, according to the CDC, is an incurable disease. Malaria was cured in 24 to 48 hours. And guess what? Guess what happened to the Red Cross worker who administered the cure? Well, he was fired and the whole thing was covered up. And if you talk about Maureen Foxtrot or whatever the fuck her name is, you will get your YouTube channel fucking banned, bro. Instantly. Like that, I have a permanent, I've never heard of this, but I made a video about this specifically for children with autism. And I got a permanent community guideline strike, permanent, to where if I even utter the Maureen Foxtrot euphemism word on YouTube, my channel will be shut down permanently.
Well,
and maybe yours too, just because you know me.
Yeah, John, I mean, that's a good point, right? YouTube just announced their ban on quote manipulated election content, and to me, I mean, what is manipulated? Does that mean
what is election? What is an election? What is a fucking election though? Right. Manipulated to me, that's like okay. So the sheeps decide what they're gonna have for dinner, as the wolves decide what they're gonna have for dinner. But the sheeps had an election, right? And the wolves said, "Oh, well, we're all Democrats." Right? I mean, do you understand? Like there is no such thing as an election. It is selection.
Right.
It is. I mean, come on, dude. We literally elected, in air quotes, Biff from fucking Back to the Future 2 as president. Come on, dude. Like what? What the fuck?
Well, and that's the thing. It's all about making a mockery of people's supposed representation. It's all about representation without representation. Presenting this sort of cloak over political processes and saying, "Oh yeah, this is what a democracy is supposed to be like." Of course, you're going to have a ruling 0.00001% class that just makes executive decisions over, the health of the society. And hey, that's reality for you. And
to your point, look at the last election, right? It was either Hillary, fucking Hillary,
right,
or Donald Trump, Donald pussy grabbing Trump, and that's our choice. Like, come on.
I mean, it's.
And truth, no, but even worse, truthers, like bona fide, like people that I respected, truthers are coming out saying that Donald Trump is literally the reincarnation of some fucking biblical god. Like, what? Like, the guy that everybody fucking hated forever, like the rich guy that like never did shit ever, like couldn't even properly make a sandwich. This is the guy that is the man of the people. Like, oh, dude. And so those are our choices: is Hillary or Trumpinator.
Right.
Ooh, yeah, that's a real election, isn't it?
Well, I heard The Rock might run. So you might get a third party in there. The Rock.
I'm pretty sure The Rock's a tranny, bro. I'm pretty sure The Rock is a female to male transgender. Just saying.
Hey, there's probably a lot of those. Honestly,
probably no. There is no probably about it, sir. Yeah, it is definitely. It's sick, dude. It's sick. But I'm not going to go in pointing people out, but I will say that The Rock deserves a transvestigation. That's all I'm saying, bro.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yep.
Well,
Because he's so
John,
pretty.
so
He's so fucking pretty.
You don't think that bioweapons is something to be concerned about, or you're just not concerned in this case that...
Oh, bioweapons for sure. But if it's any sort of viral form, nope. Because Hillary, what is her name? I don't even know what rhymes with chlorine dioxide. You know,
Right.
Maureen in the Maureen peroxide. Like, I don't know, man. Yeah. No, I'm not worried about if it's viral. I don't care if it's fucking genetically engineered viral. It doesn't stand a chance against chlorine, Maureen oxide.
Right.
So, no, I'm not worried about it in that sense. But when you get into things like nanotech, bioweapons, that's a little different because, metal little thing.
Hey, did you see in episode 4 the Sky Reezy commercial?
I watched episode 4 twice, actually.
The Sky Reezy commercial for the black psoriasis medication is incredible.
Oh, Sky Reezy.
In the background.
What?
And it's
Yes.
Sky Reezy. Sky Reezy.
In your face.
It's coming from the sky because we're spraying it in the sky.
That's the real bioweapon.
Dude, well, I want to go buy some, and then I want to mainline it into my fucking veins.
Let's take a minute to watch the Contagion trailer for 2011.
Yeah, this is the trailer for Contagion.
Exactly.
All right. Got it.
It was a groundbreaking ceremony for a new factory.
Did she mention seeing anyone who was sick? Anyone on a plane at the airport?
No, she said she was jet lagged.
The average person touches their face 3 to 5 times every waking minute. In between, we're touching doorknobs, water fountains, and each other.
Beth. Mom? No, go up to your room, honey.
So we have a virus with no treatment protocol and no vaccine at this time.
You had a seizure this morning, Beth.
She had a history of seizures, allergies.
As of last night, there were 32 cases.
Unfortunately, she did die.
Right. He says, can I go talk to her?
Mr. Amoff, your wife is dead.
What are you talking about? Okay. What happened to her? What happened to her?
Is there any way someone could weaponize the bird flu? Is that what we're looking at?
Someone doesn't have to weaponize the bird flu. The birds are doing that.
Watch this. It's transmission, so we just need to know which direction.
On day 1, there were 2 people, and then 4, and then 16. In 3 months, it's 1 billion. That's where we're headed.
They're calling out the National Guard. They're moving the president underground. People will panic.
Get away!
It will tip over.
The truth is being kept from the world.
Cook your samples, destroy everything.
Okay, can I say something?
I need you to get me the names of everyone who serviced this room. It's an emergency.
You can't panic now.
I know.
I'm gonna get you home. I got people too, Dr. Cheever. We all do.
Don't talk to anyone. Don't touch anyone. Stay away from other people.
Get back in your car. We're not sick.
It's figuring us out faster than we're figuring it out.
It's mutated.
Wow.
Well, there you have it.
Can I say something first?
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I can't hear anything that's going on in the videos. I can't hear shit. Second of all, the letters everything's backwards. So basically, I'm watching this shit like Ayn Rand, bro. Like the letters are backwards, and I can't hear anything. I can see it, and I'll tell you one thing: Matt Damon is also probably an FTM tranny. I'm just saying, but that's all I got from that. That's all I got. So I don't know. Y'all tell me what happened, and then I'll just sort of distill that, drink my beers, and listen.
Yes, it's basically just a distillation of this movie that whose tagline is "No one is immune to fear."
Not well, I am. I ain't afraid of shit. I ain't afraid of shit. What, as a flat earther? Come on, bro.
Right.
Hey, one of the worst fears that they say, one of the things that people fear worse than anything, is public shame.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they say. And guess what? If you're a flat earther, shit me. What? Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I mean that's sort of going along with the programming and this trailer of course seen by all these people in some other Hollywood invented fairy tale. So it's all about kind of priming the pump and externalizing the methodologies and the depictions that they want people to associate with a pandemic and believe in a central authority trying to solve the problem and just
they're gearing people up for that. And you know what? They've pretty much already won, because there's a lot of us that understand exactly what you just said, but the majority of people, I would say 90%, trust authority. They trust in government, which literally means mind control. They trust in their mind control. And so like we're not dealing with rational people for the most part. We're dealing with mob mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, it's pretty bleak, bro. I mean,
problem in the trailer, right? It wasn't so much illness as it was societal collapse and panic and chaos, which is exactly when you look at the numbers of people who died from coronavirus, even with the potentiality of them hiding some of the statistics, it still pales in comparison to like what kills from the flu and infectious diseases in hospitals and
right.
Oh, but haven't you heard? Haven't you heard? 328 people have died from corona with Lyme virus.
Right.
328 people. Which I mean, hey, well, no, that's a lot of people. I mean, could you imagine if 328 people that you knew died? I mean, that's a lot of people. Granted, but on the grand scheme of things, shouldn't we also ban? I don't know,
sugar.
Like the circular pop tops off the beer bottle caps, because you could swallow it and choke and die. So you better ban that too, right? Because you could. I mean, I guarantee you, 500 people die every year from swallowing a Budweiser cap than they do from corona. Like way more people. Way more.
Well, hey, don't worry about the chemtrails or the airborne bioweapons or anything like that, because NASA, I know the words are backward for you, John, we'll work on that, but on the screen the viewers can see that NASA set.
I'm trying to work on my dyslexic skills anyway, so I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of dyslexic.
It's a good exercise. It's probably good for the brain to get that
No, not at all. No, not at all.
But NASA set in 2022 to launch an air quality sensor that will provide hourly updates across North America. So,
oh really? So I'm sure it has nothing to do with the arrays of weather balloons that they have up there.
No, nothing at all. It's totally different. Yeah.
It's satellites, because but orbiting the Earth at thousands of miles in altitude is a way better vantage point to get a census of what's going on in the atmosphere than a weather balloon at about 100,000 feet. Like who the fuck believes this shit, dude? Like, what?
Well, this article led me on a rabbit hole, and I went to the company that is purporting to build this thing. Of course, on their website, they have not a single actual photo of said satellites or any of their manufacturing. It's a very spooky.
You don't say. That's a big fucking shocker, isn't it, Dave? Big fucking shocker that they don't have any pictures of their picture-taking ass satellites in space. There's thousands of them that take pictures of everything but each other, right? Like what?
Look,
who believes?
Right. Look at these links right above each other. It says satellite host name for NASA air pollution sensor. But then it says right below that, using balloons to trap pollution in the stratosphere. They're the same operation.
It's the same thing. It's just redundant scams piled on each other.
So, okay, now here's the thing. Okay, so here's the range. You got the ISS, which they claim is at about a couple thousand miles in altitude, if I'm not mistaken. Then they also have, no, I'm sorry, the ISS, they say, is 350 miles in altitude. That's what they say, about 300. They also say that the geosynchronous orbit satellites are 22,000 miles away. And those are the ones, those are like your communication satellites, your weather monitoring satellites. So what you're telling me is if you want to understand what's going on in the weather, like the barometric pressure and the temperature of the atmosphere in my general location, you want to go 22,000 miles away and shoot laser beams at me? No, that's ridiculous. A weather balloon, on the other hand, with laser sensitive, high technology, dude, that's totally doable. And that's in fact what they're doing.
Right.
But the concept that a geosynchronous satellite 22,000 miles away can somehow shoot laser beams and detect what's going on in your general, that's absurd. I mean, the level of ignorance and arrogance and absurdity of the globalist position. I mean, I could cry. You could cry about it, dude.
Well, because it's rooted in rule by deception and Freemasonry and Kabbalah. You can really trace a lot of the foundations of NASA back to Crowley, as you've detailed.
Well, here's two things, and don't let me forget about Crowley. If I forget about Crowley, tell me again, okay? But in terms of Freemasonry, let me tell you something. Most Freemasons, most of these fucking guys,
right,
are just decent people trying to eke out a living in this fucked up ass world, and they have no clue about the bigger picture. Most of these guys. And you know what? They're very useful idiots in that way, but they think they're very smart. Because guess what? They're making monopoly money, hand over fist, because they're Freemasons. Now, here's the thing. When you get up in the higher degrees, oh, and by the way, let's not skip past this. When you become a Freemason, you literally take a blood oath to where you will get your throat slit and your guts emboweled, and you'll just be torn up and fucking left for dead in the side of the ocean and everything else. So that's when you get in there. If you tell the secrets of the lodge. So it is a secretive order, okay? They're sworn to secrecy by blood oaths, okay, from the get-go. But most Freemasons, these rituals, they think it's kind of weird, but they get the contract, they get the big government, no big contract, so, they're gonna stick with it. Once you get to the higher levels of Freemasonry, however, you start to understand the bigger picture. And so the point is, though, most Freemasons are useful idiots to the secretive order that is basically it's a dark brotherhood, bro.
Sure. Definitely. 100%.
And so
it's not the only one.
It's not the only one.
No, it's not. It's not.
The broader
kind of concept. I hate to stigmatize Freemasons in general because a lot of these fucking guys, man, they just don't know. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
And they mean well, and they want to have basically like an older adult male fraternity, more or less.
They want to.
No, it's about contract. It's about contracts. That's all.
Well, right, because the people and the connections and networking that you meet, even at the lower levels, provide you with all this kind of quid pro quo. I scratch.
You're not. Look, if you want big contracts in like building schools, hospitals, building new apartment complexes. If you're not a Freemason, I'm sorry, dude, you're not going to get the contracts. It's just not going to happen. Now, you might get a contract for like, demoing the fucking floors or something. You might get little bit contracts, but when it comes to the big general contractors, no, they're all Freemasons. And most of these guys, they're rich, they're making good money, and they don't care. But what they don't understand is, is that they're sort of working for a system that is dehumanizing. They're working for a system. It's kind of hard to explain. Wow. Like, it's not that I hate contractors, and it's not that I hate Freemasons, but I hate the fact that Freemasons contractors don't understand that they are being sort of like led as puppets on a string from a higher order. And that higher order is something that shuts the little guy out. It's pro-corporation. It's anti-human.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let me forget about Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. And I mean, we see a sort of bottlenecking of resource distribution through these occult planetoid networks. And it's the Freemasons are one of them. You can point to the Jesuits. You can point to the Talmudists. You can point to all these different esoteric, brothers of the left-hand path. But that's really ultimately what it is. It's achieving the same end through various altering means, and using different veneers and kind of presentations and secret rites to set themselves apart from one another. But ultimately, it's a shared goal and a shared purpose, which is to craft people's understanding of reality in such a way as to invert reality and fill it with all these fantasies and these illusions and these constructs of authority and cult of personality.
One of the great challenges in
all these projections of hubris as expertise. And we see this all over the place in virtually every single quote-unquote esteemed field, whether it's law or medicine or education. And really going back to the election process, the selection process at that, it's really going 100 years back. You look at Bernays and the founding of public relations, and we're completely... We're like in the twilight hour of being in this paradigm for so long. That's why it's so topsy-turvy and clownish and surreal. It's this pernicious groupthink that's been weaponized against entire in multiple cultures and societies in these veiled ways, trying to keep this construct of legitimacy up for them is... I mean, you gotta hand it to them. They're experts at it, and they are, extremely adept. But at the same time, there's gotta be something that gives. And I think that plain eight phenomenology, level truth, plain truth. I mean, it's there to see.
Dude, look, man. That's honestly everything you just said. Wow, we could talk on every point you just made for hours. But to your point, that's why they get us while we're young. It really is. That's why they get us while we're young, because we have honestly, I'm perplexed at how certain truths have gotten out here lately, because when they get you when you're so young, your belief systems sort of become a part of your id, a part of your psyche. And it's very difficult to shed those, even in light of so much evidence to the contrary of your beliefs. And so in that respect, that's why they get us while we're young. It really is. It's sick, dude. Whoever's responsible for this particular brand of deception, dude, how sick. It's anti everything that human beings are affiliated with. It has to be I agree with the David Icke thing, dude, to some levels, bro. You know what I mean?
Well, you can look back in esoteric literature and kind of excavate the very thing they're so infatuated with and so enamored with. And you find that this idea of the egregore and the conjuring of collective groupthink concepts as a being unto itself that ends up possessing not just individuals, but entire institutions, corporations, governments, what have you, and they're the ones who are enacting this paradigm through their fealty, through their allegiance to these egregores that they've created. The whole astrophysicalist concept is based on heaps of different egregores, and a lot of these are housed within what can be called muse cages, and it's the whole.
What is a muse cage?
A muse cage is it's like an energetic vector that allows for certain motivations, certain initiations to take place, and it can be kind of a positive muse cage where
okay, I get all that. I get all that, but what the fuck is a muse cage?
Well, it's an occult term for how one kind of motivates themselves and with creative energy. So,
okay, I understand what a muse is. I understand what a muse is.
But a muse cage is the effort on the part of an initiate to sort of control or entrap a certain kind of muse, as it were. So
okay,
and then you know that's really where egregores live to a great extent is in
what is an egregore?
An egregore is a collective groupthink process in a projection.
Okay, I thought you were talking about like egregore, like as a being or something. I got
well, that's the whole kind of mystical element of them is that they end up being
like NPCs?
emanated as beings. Yeah.
NPCs.
To an extent, but it's really just kind of a groupthink process, essentially. Something that people don't have to investigate for themselves. It's just sort of an agreed upon consensus point, and it's reality principle manufacturing, essentially.
Gotcha.
That's what most egregores
are all about. Kind of like, you might think of it like when Neil deGrasse Tyson dropped his microphone and simply spoke gravity into existence. He's putting thought into everybody's mind to sort of make it real.
Right. That's a classic example of a dissemination of an egregore. Is people are just supposed to agree based on the manufactured consensus, and since it's an authority figure speaking it must exist.
Yeah.
And it's the whole kind of epistemological telephone. Once people ritualize a certain egregore and it becomes ensconced in knowledge systems, then that gets passed on to the next generation and morphs and mutates, and in itself it is kind of its own being to some extent. It's a subtle being because it exists within the ideational realm. It's not but it manifests itself through physical activities in the material plane. And so these are the things that people really need to be paying attention to is the ongoing dissemination and really to a great extent worship of these various egregores that are everywhere. I mean, it's in almost every single field of science, economics, politics, any sort of materialistic quote unquote.
Dude, it's so deeply dug in. It's even in orthodontics. It's bad. Like I watched this video pretty recently, within the last month, and this guy, he's an orthodontist. His dad was an orthodontist, and his granddad was an orthodontist. Like, this is the fucking orthodontist of orthodontists. And basically, what his whole thing is, and he's shadow banned like a mofo. Like he's worse than shadow banned. Like he's career banned, like the whole nine. But basically, his thing is like, and this is coming from an orthodontist, that you don't need corrective braces to get your like teeth and jaws fixed. You just need, it's like certain posture, like certain habits, like just certain things, like the way that you hold yourself, your posture, the way that you clench your jaw. He's had like, and he's cured like thousands and thousands of people of like debilitating sort of jaw like disorders, oral disorders. I forget the fucking guy's name, but like, so basically he's blackballed and he's fixing to lose his license. But so even exactly what you're saying is in every field of so-called science, that it is debilitating. It's ridiculous that we're supposed to put up with this and call it medicine or call it science, you know?
Right.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
And I mean, you know, look at someone like Dr. Sebi. You know, you saw what happened to him. And he won in court. You know, he got sued by I think it was like the American Medical Association or something.
Of course it was.
And
they said that he was practicing without a license. It's like, do I have to have a license to go and pick plants?
Yes.
Yeah, like I had never heard of Dr. Sebi, but I think I saw something about that very recently. So it's kind of synchronicitous that you brought that up.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, it's everywhere. Like doctors, man, like dude, they're under gag orders, bro. Like it's pretty bad when people that are that have sworn an oath to like help people and heal them can't tell people about certain things that will help them because it doesn't make money for the
Right.
And then it goes back to like people in prestigious positions are probably part of a secret brotherhood where they all kind of reinforce each other's, commitment to secrecy, and they create justifications for, keeping it from the people, and, only certain people who are in the know deserve XYZ object or semblance of truth.
Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. That's the thing, because only the people that have sworn blood oaths to the secret brotherhood get the contract. Only the people that have sworn, secret blood oaths to the brotherhood get the XYZ. And so, like, even though it seems like sort of innocent and just like beneficial to the average Freemason, back on that, in effect, what it does is it creates. It centralizes power in the hands of a few people that are fucking assholes. Like, honestly, like Freemasons, when you get to the upper levels, you'll find out that they're fucking weird. They're just as Kabbalistic and just as Talmudistic, as you said, as all the other fucking weird ass cults. And so, but why would you stick with a weird ass cult? Why would anyone stick with a weird ass cult? Well, you got the fucking contracts, bro. You got the ring, you got the bling bling, you got the contracts. So why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you stick with that weird ass fucking cult?
Right.
Also, there's leverage on them, and I'm sure with a lot of these contracts and stuff, they've got to sign NDAs, and there's big intimidating guys around them when they do sign it, and it's. So there is a certain, and then there's the whole blackmail network element in being initiated into these higher levels, and
it is, and it especially when you get into like the Ivy League brands of this thing. Like, have you guys seen the whole Skull and Bones?
Right. Yeah, that's just a local friendly university Thanatoid occultist chapter, that gets to set policy for everybody.
No, that's just your president of the United States. That's all it is. What the fuck? What is going on here? Like, do we live in the Twilight Zone? Do we?
Well,
Twilight Zone seems like a sandbox.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah, at least that's
seems like a nice place to go. Like,
at least it's a little entertaining in the Twilight Zone, isn't it?
John, I'm not sure if you can hear this. Xavier, just leave it. Try and John, don't say anything while I play this, and we're going to see if we can get away without an echo. I really want you to hear this next clip. Speaking of just manipulating reality and trying to bend us to their will, and possibly Freemason. I got advertised. I don't know if you've seen them before, John, but these master classes. Got this guy Chris Hadfield. He's an astronaut. He's doing a master class on rocketry. And then this one was
master barf and kill myself with a fucking gun.
Teaching scientific thinking and communication. You have to see this.
Check it out.
If you're a viewer or a podcast listener, you have to watch the video, because the way he's sitting with his passion in his library or whatever, is just so full of hubris and arrogance.
The pretentiousness is it's like ATH, like unbelievable.
Check this
I'm
out.
John Bates, and this is my masterclass, Master Bates.
He knows.
One of the great challenges in this world is knowing enough about a subject to think you're right, but not enough about the subject to know you're wrong. There's like a gazillion hours of me on the internet. In almost every case, I'm talking about the universe, black holes, the Big Bang, time travel, God. But what I'm gonna do in this masterclass is teach you how to think. The goal here is to train your mind how to see the world differently, how to question what others say. I've come to realize that there are three categories of truth: personal truth, political truths, and the objective truths that shape our understanding of the universe. The interesting thing about an objective truth is that it's true no matter what. Imagine that. By the time we're done, you will be equipped with some of the methods and tools so you can turn data into information, information into knowledge, knowledge into wisdom. We all have susceptibility to bias. Search engines on the internet are the epitome of confirmation bias. And you're going to use that as evidence that you are correct? No. The good thing about science is that it's true whether or not you believe in it. What does it mean to be skeptical? What does it mean to be convinced by data? A proper skeptic questions what they're unsure of, but recognizes when valid evidence is presented to change their mind. I will equip you to not only find objective truths, but then communicate to others how to get there. It's not good enough to be right. You also have to be effective. The less connected you are to what is objectively true, the less likely you will be able to make decisions that will benefit your life, the life of your family, and even civilization itself. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, and this is my master class.
Well, I couldn't hear a word. I couldn't hear a word he said, but let me tell you something. God damn motherfucker. Well, that's all I had to say. I couldn't hear anything he said, so I don't know.
I'm sorry, We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out going forward.
I'm going to teach you how to think.
Yeah, this is
how to turn data into information. I mean, he's basically he's saying that he's going to conform your ideas, and you know the way he has such a chip on his shoulder about people who are asking legitimate questions, and he even comes out in his little trailer. You know. It's almost like he's talking to Joe Rogan again.
Right.
And
well, you know, like look at people like Lawrence Krauss. Like I can pull up a clip, and maybe you can do it later or whatever. But there's a clip of Lawrence Krauss where he basically says, and this is basically verbatim, he says, "You are insignificant, and the universe tells you you're insignificant, and we've learned this because of observation of the universe." So basically, like their whole shtick is to like diminish us, like demoralize us, dehumanize us. And when you press them, and I love that Neil deGrasse Tyson, that fucking guy. But like you can juxtapose him upon himself, completely contradicting himself for something as definite as gravity. Like, you know, dropping the mic, this is gravity, right? This is gravity. Oh, but if you pointedly ask him, what is gravity? He has no idea.
And if you keep asking like Joe Rogan, he'll get upset at you.
Right. And say,
oh, Joe Rogan, hey man, that's one that I've lost a lot of faith in.
Right.
A lot of faith in Joe Rogan.
For sure.
Well, the thing is, he's like the new kind of like normie indicator for. He's kind of a new mainstream normie cognitive indicator. That's what I would say. That it's interesting to look at some of his interviews just to get a beat on what you're just kind of average, happy-go-lucky, ignorance is bliss kind of millennial is thinking. Because him and
it makes me suspect. It does. It makes me suspect because somebody that will go on the record promoting smoking pot, which I'm cool with that, and you know, doing hallucinogens, which I'm cool with that, but then he'll also say that there's no way that the moon landings ever happened. And then 6 months later, then say the exact opposite, that there's no way that it didn't happen. And so somebody like that, it makes you wonder, it makes me suspect of this whole movement towards legalizing shit like, you know, turn America in Amsterdam. You know what I mean? Which I'm all for that. Like, real talk, I'm all for turn America into Amsterdam. But when somebody like Joe Rogan says that, but also, comes back and fucking, gliding on positions, right in the middle and not really. I don't know, man. It makes you wonder, like, what is this whole pro-drug movement thing anyway? I don't know, man.
I think he really enjoys his lifestyle. He's a bit of a hedonist, and
Oh, sure.
he doesn't want to. And he also likes to get along with people. He's the kind of guy who will agree with whoever he spoke to last, and he repeats people's stories and stuff. And part of I think his whole shtick is to be as neutral as possible. So he comes off as very soft a lot of times, but then he comes down hard when he might be construed to agree with something that would be, politically scandalous.
Extreme.
Yeah, quote unquote.
Extreme.
Except he keeps having Eddie Bravo on because I think there is an appetite for this.
Well,
he'll have him on an MMA only show, and I mean, you're gonna have Eddie Bravo on there. He's gonna bring it up at least once. So you're doing that somewhat intentionally.
So like the Eddie Bravo thing, dude. First of all, I love Eddie Bravo, come as a flat earther. But then, like, the person that he chose, like, did you guys ever see the ODD Eddie Bravo interview?
No.
No. Okay. Well, let me put it mildly. Okay. I love ODD. Love him. Met him in person in Colorado for briefly.
Right.
Okay. Love Eddie Bravo. Never met him, but I love him. Flat earther. But Eddie Bravo put on ODD, and ODD just made a fucking mockery of flat Earth proof. Like, never even uttered a single, maybe a couple of words of flat Earth evidence. But see, that's the thing, dude. It's frustrating because the evidence of flat Earth that is allowed into the mainstream is such a watered down fucking shell of what it actually is. It's frustrating.
Sure.
Well, we're out here in the Raleigh-Durham area, John, and in Cary, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Cary, but they had the largest flat Earth conference in the world, which just blew my mind.
Yeah.
And spoke to the movement, whether the conference is good or bad, it's one thing, but the fact that
well, no, I'm familiar. I lived in Fayetteville for a long time, and I actually worked for a company that delivered packages to Cary. And actually, I was totally intending to go to that conference in North Carolina. However, things happened in my personal life, and I moved to Florida. So,
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that I just see it sort of as a black swan sort of reversal kind of signal within modern society that such a conference could even gain traction.
Right.
And
they already try to give it the Bernaysian treatment with the whole Netflix, straw man treatment, behind the curve and all this crap, and National Geographic doing their sham debunks, and
They shouldn't have called it Behind the Curve. They should have called it Prom King and Prom Queen of Flat Earth.
Right.
Like, who gives a flying fuck about any of that?
Right.
Well, and that's the whole thing. That's the whole Bernaysian trick is to reduce an issue into something that can be stigmatized, ostracized, and peddled as a petty sort of personal belief system instead of a an actual demonstrable framework for assessing reality.
There's some guy sitting around getting paid $500 million a year to come up with red herrings.
Right.
There really is. And like, some fucking guy is killing. He's killing it. This fucking guy is killing it, bro.
Well, when you can print the money, right? When you can afford to, I mean, somebody you talk. Xavier talks about the occult thespian society, basically a breakaway civilization of imposters, actors, people who slip in and out of different identities, conducting all sorts of operations, and it's absolutely a thing. And when you control the money, you control how people invest their future.
Right.
You control their behavior. It's incredibly insidious.
Well, I mean, have y'all read the Creature from Jekyll Island?
Yes.
Well, see, that's the thing, because like the be all end all of it is this, in my opinion, is that most people, like, their number one concern in life is in fact money. Like, as much as they love their children, as much as they love their pets, as much as they love their houses, as much as they love their cars, when it comes down to it, it's money. And when you realize that money is fucking nothing, then basically people have put their faith, in the long and short of it, people have put their faith into a cabal of evil motherfuckers that are just stealing everything from you. But people don't know it. Like, it's fucked up.
It's
sad. It's fucked up.
Well, and I would say that a lot of the banking structure is ultimately a giant altar to Mammon. And that what we've seen in the modern era, quote unquote, is a revival of these death cults in the form of Mammon and Molech. And Molech, you see that epitomized by the whole, tranny kid transvestite kind of normalization, and then abortion. That entire industry. Those are all kind of offerings to Molech to a great extent, and then Mammon is institutionalized usury and money printing and shenanigans through oligarchy, and all of that is Mammon. So it's been this kind of and then Baal is the whole Baal worship, the terraqueous orb. So it's really these old world dark vectors of energy, Mammon, Molech, and Baal, really coming to the fore as just kind of common everyday things. Baal, it's Baal. It's about creating a false idol of creation and making a mockery of any sort of creator. And that was to a great extent that was what Baal was all about. You can really collapse or combine those three beings, Mammon, Molech, and Baal, into Ahriman. And Ahriman is really is incarnated today. And that's what we really see on a daily perspective. I mean, it's hard to miss it. And all the sciences, all the politics and economics. I mean, it really is the Ahrimanic era. And the main thrust against it is just to get people on the same page and realizing the tactics and the techniques to use deception to manufacture consent for their authority. And if more people in the long term can just understand the tricks of the trade, so to speak, it'll be easier for them to see past a lot of the illusion and the controlled Decepticon matrix.
Well, but the thing is, man, most people do not want to be unplugged. Like, and honestly, like, in some sense, I agree with the guy that said ignorance is bliss and then ate the fucking steak in the Matrix. Because like, would I choose? Like, this is a big question that I ask myself. It's been about 5 years now since I stumbled onto this fucking crazy topic that's changed my life, to say the least. But I asked myself, would I have rather just stayed in the Matrix and ate the fucking red pill or whatever,
blue pill.
Yeah, the blue pill. Yeah. And I don't know, man, because like maybe I could have stayed in the Matrix and I'd have been way better off, financially or whatever. But when it comes to the truth, like, honestly, dude, I'm the type of person that I kind of thirst for the truth. And when it hits you in the face like this, there's no choice, bro. Like, if I had to do it a million times, like, I would do it a million times every time the same way. And I'm shaking because I'm cold. Like, I need to go inside, but there's so much background noise in there. Woof. I don't know.
It's all good.
The cars are going by too, so it's probably not much better out here either. Let's see if my wife quieted down. No, but it really is, dude. It's a fucked up situation because, like, which would if you had to do it all over again, would you choose to be ignorant or would you choose the truth and basically ruin your fucking life?
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I think
that
there's
a
little
bit of
the quandary is really more about hindsight in that sense because we're constantly emerging into non-being with our being, and that is the passage of what we call time and life and existence. So really the fundamental paradox for me is memory. And the ability to look back and sort of reconfigure decisions as though maybe in the future there can be a recapitulation where you can decide something different. But I mean, ultimately, you're right. What is the price of freedom is vigilance, and increasingly most people just associate vigilance with paranoia, and they don't want to be paranoid, so they don't look into anything that could disrupt their illusory
never
bubble.
question anything.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that
to me is worse.
If the people in front of you are running off a cliff, you better follow them. Better run right off that cliff too, because it's hip.
Yeah.
Well,
and one thing that really kind of woke me up to a great extent was looking into the Ash conformity experiments, where this guy held up pieces of paper to these participants, and they had different length lines on them, and there was someone in the group who was like the control, and whenever it was his turn to talk about which line was the biggest, he would just automatically choose the false, like one of the false answers. And like a majority of the time, as long as he spoke first, people would just go along and deny their own senses. And that to me was just a huge eye-opening experiment. Was the Ash conformity experiments, and then learning about the Semmelweis reflex. That like one of the reasons why there were so many infectious diseases in the past is that these doctors had the status of being like pure gentlemen, and they didn't need to wash their hands. And that was just an agreed upon consensus point in a convention.
Well,
in science.
and beyond that, actually, they wore it as a form of pride. The more blood that your doctor had on his apron, the better the doctor was.
Right.
So it was inverted from the fucking normal sanitary shit. Yeah,
exactly. And
we see those kind of equivalencies today in someone like a Neil deGrasse Tyson or a Chris Hadfield. It's just about taking their word for it. And substituting that for your own discernment. And it's unbelievable. It's everywhere.
That's depicted right here.
Here's Chris Hadfield. Again, masterclass on space travel. Like, they need a break.
When you say take his word for it, look at him. He's crossing. This is how you get to the moon.
This is how you get to the moon.
Dude, that's like an inverted Klingon Vulcan thing or whatever. I think he was stacking. He was blood from the. He was a crypt from the Crab Nebula.
With risk. The rocket equation. It's a beautiful thing. No astronaut launches for space with their fingers crossed. That's not how we deal with risk. What I learned from 21 years as an astronaut is that the more you know, the less you fear. The reason I wanted to do this masterclass is to share the hidden depths of purpose that are behind space exploration.
Reverb.
When the clock hits zero, start focusing in, thinking of nothing else but the moment that you're in. Study every system on a spaceship, and then boil it down to what I call a one-pager. You've got to be able to solve your problems in one breath. You have to push your lungs forward through the drag of the atmosphere. Crushed into your chair, you're like a leaf in a hurricane. The reason is 1/2 rho v squared s. 16 times the speed of sound. As you accelerate harder and harder, the light blue Florida sky starts to get darker and darker, and then suddenly black. And the engine shut off, and you're weightless. Turn the handle and open the hatch. You pull yourself out into the universe, and now suddenly, when you move your knees, you can feel the searing heat of the sun on one side and the incredibly cold emptiness of space on the other. When you're no longer Earthlings, how do you navigate? You can use the stars. You can actually see how that place where you were raised fits into the overall complexity and reality of the solar system. You start to unavoidably wonder, are we alone in the universe or not?
Well,
really is.
It's theatrics. It's against the whole occult thespian thing, you know? I mean, he's probably part of the lodge himself. And
okay, so I didn't hear a word that fucking guy said, but I'll tell you this.
Yeah.
I was never ever gonna wear a mustache, but after seeing that fucking guy talking when I couldn't hear his words, I would die in a cold grave before I wear a mustache now. Let me tell you.
Oof.
Well, he's basically painting a picture of what it's like to blast off and go into orbit and then, exit the spacecraft and feel the cold of space on the other side of the spacesuit. And it's pretty relevant, right? Because Trump, in the wake of his acquittal, or maybe it was just before, made this big announcement that we're going to be, dedicating funding to go to Mars, which was also declared by Bush, and who God knows how many billions of dollars were printed and spent on clandestine technology and probably exploring the plane, frankly.
Right.
And maybe beneath it, subterranean.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, maybe even weather balloon, not weather balloon platforms. There could be levitating the cities as well.
Right.
But I don't think they're going to the moon.
No,
but they do have the holographic cloaking tech that allows them not to be seen in the sky.
I mean, that's something they've
invested
in.
The one they put in the X-Files is just the one that they're willing to admit.
Right.
Well, I think it's as simple as LCD. Like, I think that's what they're using is LCD sort of lights at the bottom of those craft, right? In order to simulate what's above the craft from the viewer's point. But there's like a whole sort of AI system that's involved in that cloaking, sort of visual cloaking mechanism as opposed to just radar.
Right.
Yeah.
And in episode 4, we also talked about those drone swarms, right?
And how you can
that's scary.
You can equip those drone swarms with these holographic projectors now, and you can create high.
How real is that though? Because like, okay, Godzilla or whatever, like I don't know, that seems a little over the top. Like how real it? Like, would it fool me? Like I don't know.
I mean, that's the thing. It's like how much of the so-called money that NASA has absconded with all these years, how much has that just really gone into these sophisticated cloaking tools of control? I mean, you know that like virtually all of it has. It's all gone towards just solidifying the control grid and
right, but
saying that it's...
Look. You can see screen time is reversed, but we're showing a 1 or 2 minute synopsis of the drone swarm technology that's already been developed. And it says inspired by the smartphone industry.
Great.
They're not connected directly to the smartphone grid at all. The smart grid at all. I thought there wasn't a smart grid.
Oh yeah,
it's just inspired.
What did you? Maybe it was you guys that was talking about it, but like maybe not. The CIA or some clandestine government algorithm or government fucking abbreviation or whatever. Had a plan to basically put a audio and video recorder in everyone's pocket, and that was in like 1985.
Right.
Okay, well, and starting in 1995, right, 1998, whatever, what did everybody start getting? Smartphones.
Right.
So yeah, and really the internet, if you go back to the very beginning, the internet was developed by DARPA. Right. So like if you think, I don't know, like talking about the dark net and different things, if you think you have some sort of anonymity on the web, you don't.
Right.
Like there is none. Like I don't give a fuck how good your VPN is or whatever. If DARPA wants you, they're gonna get you.
No,
they invented it. They're the ones that set up the whole. Yeah, it really is. Yep.
Right. And you see all these transnational firms that are behind it, and it's all basically borrowed or stolen U.S. tech, and it's been recontracted out to perhaps even a controlling body that sits above all these alphabet soup bureaucracies, and we just
there
have
definitely
no
is
real recourse or understanding of who those people are.
None.
Right.
Well, see, but the thing is, we don't even know really who prints our money.
Right.
Because the Federal Reserve, back on that point, and this dovetails together. Doesn't it all just dovetail to fucking together?
It does. It's interconnected.
But the Fed, we don't know who prints our money because the Fed is a conglomerate of private banks, and those private banks, even though they're corporations and corporations are people, these corporation people don't have to tell you who the fuck they are. And so they, like, not only are they people, but they have superhuman powers above the law. And so it's fucked, man.
It is.
Like,
it is.
Fucked.
I mean, it seems like it really has to be a velvet revolution at this point because
it does. No, you're absolutely right. Like, and honestly, like so many people there's a lot of gun-toting Southern motherfuckers that pride themselves on being Americans. But guess what? You know what it means to be an American is to fight fucking tyranny. That's what it means to be an American. It doesn't mean to bow down to government and to fucking capitulate. No.
Right.
What it means to be an American is to fight tyranny. And that's where we get the First Amendment. And I hate to fucking bring it on that subject, but look.
Right.
It's fucked, bro. It really is. Like, everything is so, people are so mind controlled, it is beyond ridiculous. Like, people don't even know what the fuck they stand for. Like, but they damn sure stand for it, but they don't know what the fuck it is that they stand for.
Well, yeah, because they're waiting on the next news broadcast to tell them what to stand for and which talking points to regurgitate at the office the next day.
Oh, there's no such thing as opinion factory, sir.
Oh no. Yeah, that's just a conspiracy theory. Right?
Yeah, you're a conspiracy theorist.
Well,
Dave and I were talking about this earlier. You got to kind of hand it to these Politburo types in the CIA for creating the term conspiracy theory. Because what it is it's this dual
Tavistock Institute weaponized term. Yep.
It's a weaponized term, and it's effective because it uses a dual doublethink.
Reverse think.
Yep.
So, like, to this day, people will interchange the term. Like, instead of saying something's a theory, they will say it's a conspiracy. But what they mean to say, these fucking ignorant fucks mean to say, is they mean to say theory. They'll say, "Oh, well, I guess you just have a big conspiracy, don't you?" No,
right.
I have a theory.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
No, but it's an interchanging of terms that where. And this is something that I learned, and this is going back to Bernays too. If you can conflict a person on their core beliefs, like if you can conflict a person on their core beliefs, so they're confounded in their core beliefs, they're in a better position to be mind controlled than someone that is not confounded in their core beliefs.
Right.
Yeah, everything is weird, especially the language. I'll never forget when a family friend's father found out that I was an anti-fluoride activist, and he asked me, "Oh, are you a radical or something?" And it's like the concept of being anti-authoritarian and to see something, say something, which is promoted by the TSA, ironically, is somehow seen as a radical position. How did this happen? This is just insane. But John, it's been really good. My phone is about to run out.
All right, let me get this point out real quick. Last point. Okay, so if it is good for your teeth to have fluoride in your mouth, is it also good for your teeth to bathe in fluoride?
Am I a tooth?
Right.
Yeah. No, sir, you're not a tooth.
Am I more than my teeth?
No, you're probably more than the sum of their parts, but no. Your teeth are better than you.
Question to them, like all they want to talk about is the tooth, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking about the kidneys and the thyroid. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
But they don't want to talk about that. But
What
hey,
is-
John,
All right, good.
your website.
Yeah.
FE 2017. No, that's a highlight.
No, I don't have a website. I don't believe in websites, actually. No, actually I do, but I don't have one. I bought a domain and it kind of fell apart and everything, but yeah.
That's okay.
Well, what should people look for if they want to find you and your channel?
Just my YouTube channel.
The Morgile.
The Morgile on YouTube.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully,
we'll have more of these.
Apologize for the technical difficulties. We're going to try to keep improving this. We want to
Oh,
have
and-
you on more. We want you to also. I know you don't believe in websites, but we would love it if you
No, I do. Okay.
contribute to our site. We can give you credentials for that. You can become an official part of this Zetetic News
Oh, dude, I got so much content, bro. So much.
Awesome.
Let's bring
You don't
it
even know.
Bring it.
together.
Bring it.
We'll be in touch. Appreciate your time today. And
Yeah, man.
Godspeed, man.
Godspeed.
All right, brothers. Love you, man.
See ya.
Love you too.
All right, bet. No homo.
Same.
Same.